You know how I said a while ago, actually like 3 days ago, that I got enough equipment. The studio is almost finished, just the ceiling, but we tested. Let me show you this piece right there. It's just a test, but there will be more pieces in a different color. It will look epic, it will look nice. And as I said, no more equipment, because I got everything I will ever need. And I promised my girlfriend that the interface right here, 16 ins, 16 outs, that they're all occupied. I'm not getting anything anymore. Just replacing is allowed. But then I'm a smart guy. Then I thought, like, what else could I get? Instruments. Instruments don't need any ins and outs. So I got this guitar right here. Nothing really special, but there's something else I'm about to get. Actually, two things. One of them is so big and so epic that Andy, the gear guy, has to help me and try and figure out if that thing that is so big, if it even fits into the studio. So he built me a dummy, just this board and that right there. And we'll now test and see if we can, like, if it will pass. We tested it. I think it's working. And the gear guy thinks it's working. So we'll get it. We'll get it. And there's also another thing we need to get. Andy is like doing the research and getting all of the gear. He's also taking care of all of the money things. And he found something that I just need for my studio. I think it's actually more for him. Kind of. So we'll show you today how Andy the gear guy gets gear and goes on a hunt to get the best gear for the lowest price possible. And I think he found something. Is it a good price? The next problem, and that's the only problem about gear addiction, getting more gear, Andy searching for gear. I mean, he always gets the best prices possible, but it still costs something. So money is always an issue. And I'm broke. I'm broke as, like, I mean, it's all invested and everything around me, which is great. But I figured out like a certain technique, and like the secret room has a lot to do with it. So I usually just go in there, there's like a machine and it does certain things, and it then just, it can like, it makes cash. But only for gear. That's the one rule. It's more a magic machine. So it's not a machine with gears and power. It's more like magic. So let's see if we can find enough magic in that secret room. I'm lucky. It actually worked. It always works. The next part is then getting the gear. Usually Andy takes his very fast car to get it. Today we're using mine because I'm with him. Usually he does it on his own, but I'm today here to show you how he does it. So I'm with him. So let's go. Back in the studio, there it is. It's a very beautiful drum set, like the toms, the kick drum. We're just missing a snare, but we found, or Andy found, another place for a snare that just fits to it. This is a very, yeah, it's starting to be a very rare kind of kit. I'd say it's like the studio standard. If you go to a studio, usually they have like an old Ludwig set over there. It's made in the US. It's from 1979, so very old. And the guy that sold it to us, who's, by the way, a really good drum player, he's like an absolute nerd. He's like repairing, buying them, restoring them. And it was on like eBay for such a low price, or actually like a fair price, that we just had to. I always wanted to have a drum set here in the studio for me to learn a little, but most importantly for other people to play. And we have like a big project coming up with quite a good budget, good enough to actually get it, and it's part of it. We actually need it. We need a live drum set. And I thought, why buy a new one that is very expensive if I can get for a little less something old that is really good. That's from a time where this was like still manufactured in a proper way. Nowadays, if you buy a drum set, it's usually China, and this characteristic tone of the late 70s is like legendary. So I'm really happy to have it here. It's beautiful and it's in remarkable conditions, like exceptionally good. Every little piece is like smooth and was restored, is like brand new, like new color on it. Also the toms are just beautiful, everything redone. Tone is amazing. We're still missing the hardware and like the cymbals, but I just ordered it, so we'll have a complete drum set within the next 2 to 3 days. The snare is also really special, same time, different finish. It's like entirely black, but yeah, we'll now have a drum set. That's nice. I'm glad. It's an investment into the studio. Hopefully soon, when COVID is over, we'll be able to just have people come here, play, record them. Can't wait. It's kind of extending the business, because right now we only do electronic music and DJing, but with a drum set and maybe 1 or 2 other things that might come in the next coming days, we'll have like a full recording room, maybe. Like, I'm thinking about this. This room right here is really big. It's the same size as the A studio that is above, but the A studio, as you know, is like highly absorbing. So I took away a meter on each side, made it smaller to have more absorption in there. But this room is actually huge, and the reverb, I mean, you can hear it right now. There's quite a lot of reverb, but it's really nice reverb. It's not dirty reverb. So I was thinking like dampening the reverb a little and maybe making this like a full recording room, like have drums in here, maybe some synths, a guitar, just get some instruments. Because the synthesizer, the electronic part upstairs is complete. Now it's getting some legendary instruments. I'm really happy about it. And I know some will say like recording drums is stupid, but I've done it in the past. It's a lot of work, and if you compare the work to what you get, yes, it's a little excessive, but the real playing of a good drummer, you cannot mimic that in software, really. So looking forward to it. I think it's time for some cooking with Jon Sine. So yeah, that's what you have for dinner if you spend all of your money on gear. Like, I'm gear addicted. I don't want to hide it. I just buy a bunch of stuff. But no, like seriously, this is a nice addition to the studio. It's the oldest piece of equipment right now. It's in perfect condition. It's like amazing that something like this even exists, that we were able to find it. Thanks to Andy for sourcing this. Like this was really a challenge. And to all of the haters and complainers that always tell me whenever I get gear, it's unnecessary, blah, you rich boy, you don't deserve it. Just go back. There are like 5 years of me getting to this point. And I think in those 5 years, I made smart decisions and I know what I'm doing. Like there are always bigger plans to things that I get. I'm not wasting anything, promise.